Okay guys, welcome to AEW Fight Forever, and the reason why I'm doing this video is because just recently, a couple of days ago, people are posting and bashing the heck out of this game, okay? And what I want to do, what the goal is with this video, is go and show you that this is actually a full and complete game, alright? There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And why the heck are people bashing it? So before we get started in this video, I'm not too sure what the title is, okay? But before we get started in this video, we need to know a couple of things for context first, okay? What is AEW Fight Forever? AEW Fight Forever is a 90s throwback. So it is not a modern day wrestler, okay? It has nothing in common with WWE, alright? It is a 90s throwback, okay? And I'll prove it to you with the controls here in a second and that sort of thing, alright? And people are saying that this was unfinished, unpolished, and a whole bunch of other complaints. And I'm here to set the record straight that AEW Fight Forever is a phenomenal fighting game, okay? And there's absolutely nothing wrong about it. Now, when you take a look at the wrestling games back in the 90s, one that comes to my memory is the one that I have on my Sega Genesis, which is WWF Royal Rumble. That only has one-on-one, tag team, and the Royal Rumble. And that's it. That's all you got. So when we look at the game modes here, we got a lot more than that, okay, alright? Now, we can tell by the cosmetics of the wrestlers that this is not taking the approach of being realistic, right? Okay? So, let's take a look at the controls here, okay? Alright? So, when we look at the controls, and hopefully you can see this on the screen there, I don't know with the brightness and everything, but I'll tell you what's what. Left trigger is action, right trigger is Irish whip, right bumper is guard for striking, strike reversals, and pulling up a down opponent. The left bumper is to guard against grapples, grapple reversals, and to pin the opponent. Y is kick, X is punch, B is run, A is grapple. Okay? Straightforward. Alright? You move around with the left thumbstick. Okay? And you click the left thumbstick to lock onto a person. And to do a finisher, you click the right thumbstick. And by the way, you do signatures off the D-pad. Okay? Anyway, any direction. And I'll show you some gameplay here, okay, so that, if in case you sound confusing. That's a hell of a lot more simpler than WWE, right, okay? Way more simpler. Way more easy to play. Now, in terms of things and that, okay, I want to show you something. My match records, okay? My longest match, which is the second line from the top there, is 26 minutes and 22 seconds. Check out my score. Okay, 39,880. That is a 40,000 star match, ladies and gentlemen. 40,000 stars. It's a lights out match, and I did it with Daniel Bryanson on October 22nd, 2025, 6:44 p.m. My second highest match, which I lost, I won that one, okay. But the one I lost was a lights out match yet again with Leopard Lady, November 10th, 2025 at 7:07:52 p.m. 24,740 star match. That's a 25,000 star match. It rounds up at, 500 and up. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing, right? Okay, so 500 is like, 24.5. And then when you get higher than that, then it goes to 25, right? That's how they do the star system, okay? And as you can tell, I got stars here, 19,000, 15,000, 14,000, 10, 10, 6, 6, 6, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, and you get the idea, okay, in all sorts of different matches. So yeah, you can have long matches, and there's proof, like right there, the longest match I've had is 26 minutes and 22 seconds. So I actually had a match go 26 minutes. Let that sink in. My shortest match was 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Okay? So here, like, you know, it tells you, like, you know, how well you did, all different arenas you're in, and different moves you've done, and cash you spent, and on and on and on, right? It's really good at stat tracking, right? Okay? Alright? Match records. Okay, then we got our stats here, right? And I just do, like, you know, uploaded. There it is right there. 39,880 is my highest score. Average score is 3,831. Okay? 5-star matches, I had 11 of them. 6-star matches, I got 4. And 7-star matches and up, I got 10 of them. 10 of them. Okay? Alright, I think I know what I'm talking about here. You know what I'm saying? Right? Now, I don't play online, so I can't speak about the online stuff, and you can see there I got nothing. Right? Okay? I don't play online. Well, when we go to the match records, the amount of time that I spent in this game so far is 17 hours and 6 minutes. Okay? Now, I play this a lot on the PS4, you know, so now I'm just getting started on this on the Xbox because my PS4 is toast, right? If we go into wrestler info, we got the AEW wrestlers, custom, and community. Community was the one that was done by the first 5 were done by the ones that were original wrestlers, like Orange Cassidy and Kenny Omega and Britt Baker and all that kind of stuff. These 5 down here were done by YouTubers, like Macho T's a YouTuber, you know. Chris Danger, you know, he's a wrestler on YouTube, right? Okay, alright. So that's the thing. And when we look at our custom wrestlers, we're going to have 100 wrestlers. And look what I've done with this, right? Okay. Made Hogan, Savannah Stone, she's a real indie wrestler. Eric Bischoff, Lita, Tigress from the Nitro Girls, Fire, Painkiller Jane, you know, from the different comic books there, you know. Andre the Giant, Ed Whalen, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Tony Khan, and The Thing. And then I made Monster Brawl characters like Undead Zombie, okay, which we'll get into later. These ones need to be done yet. Macho Man is a space saver, and so is Farmer's Daughter. There's Mick Foley and the mini faces of Mick Foley. Okay, alright. And when we go into it, we can actually see their moves and stuff, right? So he does the lockjaw, number 2, which is what he does with the sock, right? And then he does the butterfly DDT, number 1. Okay, hasn't gone through Road to the Elite yet, alright? Comes out with a trash can, and when you see him come out, that's what he does, is he uses a trash can. So they actually have their real weapons and everything, okay? We got Frankenstein's monster, Werewolf, who's the current champion, by the way, and Swamp Guy, and Lady Vampire. Those are all characters, and Undead Zombie, and Witch Bitch. Those are all characters from the movie Monster Brawl. And I made them in here, okay? Then we got Mortal Kombat characters, Sonya Blade, Liu Kang, Jade, Baraka, or just some of them, okay? And there's more to come. Then we got Leopard Lady, just something for fun, right? Zach the Gear Guy, who is a guy that followed me on YouTube, okay? Rock and Rob, which is me, okay? Alright. And then we got Katana, Milena, Scarlet, Raiden, and Reptile. All part of the Mortal Kombat characters. Then we got some more Nitro Girls. We got Kimberly, we got Sky, Jazz, and then we got King Nimrod, just a goofy character I came up with, which is like freaking hilarious. Page with the page turner, okay. Bill Goldberg with his finishers, like check this out. The suplex pile driver and spear number 3. So he sets him up with the spear and then he does the power jack, hammer, and yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. And if you want, I'll play as some of these characters and show you. Then we got the NES Pro Wrestling, right? So we got Hayabusa, Starman, King Kong Corn, Giant Panther, Amazon, and King Slender, and Great Puma. Those are all characters in the NES Pro Wrestling game on the Nintendo. Then we got Rhino, that's a space saver. The Rock, okay. I gotta do that better there. That's not quite good enough yet. His travel patch is wrong, I can tell. And he's gotta be a darker color than that. And we got Lydia for you guys from Skyrim, and we got Serana in vampire mode, again from Skyrim, right? So these two ladies can go at it over you guys simping and gooning, alright? You can have a lot of fun with this, you can make all sorts of different characters. I don't see the problem with creation. That looks pretty cool for Lydia, and that looks pretty cool for Lady Vampire, or for Serana the Vampire, right? And we'll put these guys into action, and show you some gameplay and stuff like that, right? So I don't see what people are complaining about, What's interesting too is we got championship matches where we can edit them out too. So we got the AEW World Champion, Women's Champion, Tag Team Champion, and then we got the TNT, which I do for First Blood matches because it has red underneath at the bottom. We got the TBS Champion, which I do for hardcore matches, and then we got the FTW Champion, which I do for monsters and aliens and all sorts of weird stuff, and that's the one that Werewolf has, right? Okay, and Jade got this one, and Darby's got that one, and Young Bucks got that one, and Ruby Soho's got that one, and MJF is this one. And it tells you the date that they had them since, you know what I mean? And I put my titles up in matches when I do my universe mode. And yes, you can do that. Like, okay, alright. So, there's a lot of really cool stuff there, okay. You can make your difficulty all the way from easy all the way up to elite. And yeah, it gets really challenging on elite. Now, let's take a look at some stuff here. The shop. You can buy different poses. Oh, sorry, wrong button. My right bumper is messed up, so I gotta switch this here. You can buy arena parts, you can get moves, you get entrances. It's like one of them's like Gangrel and stuff like that, right? You can buy more wrestlers like Cody Rhodes, Audrey, Brody Lee, Owen Hart. Get different attires for the Young Bucks and DMD, and different attire for Owen Hart. Unlock the elite difficulty. And the Death Barbed Wire Exploding match. There's like an optional thing to that too. Then you got challenges. You got daily, weekly, normal, and secret challenges. So daily resets every day. And you get things like, when a match is this person, that person, do 5 rebound strikes, make 3 custom wrestlers. And then they do stuff for online and everything like that. So they cover everybody, right? Weekly challenge, defeat 20 computer opponents on normal difficulty. Defeat 10 opponents in single matches using Shida. 10 opponents in single matches using Nick Jackson. Perform 50 dive attacks. Perform 50 weak grapples. Perform 100 grapples against a grounded opponent. Okay, and then they got online stuff and all sorts of stuff, which is really cool, right? So there's something there for everybody, right? And then you got normal ones, like, where they tell you, like, win X amount of times, play as this character in the game X amount of times and win, and defeat this character, defeat that character, you know what I mean? So, like, there's, like, tons here. Then you got secrets, like, unlock your first hidden fighter. Unlock the second wrestler. Unlock the third one, right? Which I don't have yet. I got to get Big Show unlocked, right? Earn a star rating of 6 or higher. Earn a star rating of 7 or higher. Complete Beat the Elite without losing a single time on Elite difficulty. And then on and on and on. Like, there's more to discover. You have to, in order to unlock them, you have to discover them. You see what I mean? Okay? Road to Elite. This is story mode. So you make a wrestler, right? The whole purpose of this is you make a wrestler, they're a nobody, and then you work your way through Road to the Elite. Okay? That's the whole point to that. So when I go into here, wrestler info, right? And I go to my custom wrestlers, they're a nobody until I take them through Road to Elite. See Hulk Hogan, he's got nothing, right? All ones, okay? So then I take Hulk Hogan through Road to the Elite, and I get to build him as I go along. And I actually feel like I'm somebody in AEW Fight Forever. That's the whole point to the story mode, right? So I go through the story mode, okay, and as I build my character, I start to become more and more powerful, so I'm just not a freaking nobody, and then I become a jobber, a slobber, and a mid-carder, and eventually I become a superstar. That's the whole point to Road to Elite. Let's see if we have anybody here who's finished it. I think maybe Lita has. Yeah, Lita has, right? So with Lita, we got the Hurricanrana and the Twist of Fate. And she's got 53 skills, 8 action skills, and 23 passive. And I made her just like that. So let's check it out. She's got momentum of 5 because she's an incredibly popular wrestler. Her finisher will definitely finish you, so that's a 5, right? Her signature is a 4, and the highest you can go is 5. Chain wrestling is 3, and that's something that's not in WWE. We got chain wrestling, right? Arm power is 4. Kick power is 4, grapple is 4, diving is 4, because she is an aerialist, don't forget that, right? Springboard power is 5, okay? And movement speed is 5, because she's incredibly friggin' fast, okay? So, the action skills is springboard offense, tope, because she does topes, kick out, quick mount, because she's quick to get up onto the post, right? Rebound recoil, corner recoil, strike proficiency, jump start, and that's it for that stuff there. And then in passive, she's got chain wrestling, first attack, rebound, back against the wall, corner sprint, tope attack, springboard, diving, environmental attack, kick out buff, varied offense, defender kick out, taunt, weapon, injury, brutality, groggy, grit, submission toughness because she's tough to submit, down but not out, and elite defense, finisher specialist, and tit for tat. And there you go. There's Lita, okay? And I'll show you in action. So yeah, you can do whatever with these guys. Like, it's insane, right? It's awesome. So that's the whole point. You make your wrestler and you take them through Road to the Elite, and it's actually like you're going through a whole career. That's awesome, okay? Nothing wrong with that. Now you can make 100 different wrestlers, 50 tag teams, and 20 arenas. Okay? That's insane. And the amount of customizing is insane. And I'm just going to go over a little bit with you, okay? I'm not going to go into all of this, right? I'm just going to do something here, okay? Well, let's just do a new male wrestler, alright? Okay? And that sort of thing, alright? Now, you can give them a bunch of different templates. You can add in more. Oh, sorry, not templates. That's not what I'm looking for. New presets. There we go. So we can add in more presets. So this is how many costumes you can have, right? So you can have up to 5 outfits, the original and 4 others, right? Okay. And then you can set the wrestler's name, height, weight, what they're going to be called, how the crowd's going to react to them, where they come from, the pose, the AI type. And there's more AI types in here than there is in WWE wrestling, right? Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and they only got 4 in WWE. So we got aerialist, aggressive, brawler, defensive-minded, educated feet, heavy-handed, heavyweight hybrid, methodical, middleweight hybrid, powerhouse, speedster, and technical. So for any kind of fighting style, if you want a street fighter, you can make a street fighter. If you want a boxer, you can make a boxer. That's what heavy-handed is for boxing, right? Brawlers is for street fighting. Aerialist is for, like, you know, luchadors and that. Technical is for submission. Powerhouse is like Goldberg and stuff like that, you know, weightlifters and stuff, right? You know, alright? And you got so many different styles here, aggressive and that too, right? So that's really, really awesome. There's like an insane amount of, which I don't have time to go through here, but they got poses in here like, guys, okay, let me just see here. Can we get this down to the bottom here quickly? There's 95 poses. Come on, man. Come on, are you friggin' kidding me? Right? You get to name it, you get to figure out what it's going to be announced as and everything else. You get to choose the body types, body hair, body settings, like, you know, you get to adjust the height, the fat, the muscle, the weight, and everything like that. You know, you got different body types, you know, so that you can make them whatever, and you can adjust their faces, whatever, put in facial hair, whatever, like, you know, you can have women and men wrestlers. And then you can choose their ring attire, their entrance attire, their street clothes, their moveset, which is just insane. There's like so many moves in here. There's like thousands of moves in here, and I'm not even joking, okay? And then their entrances too. Now, I'll do some of these movesets here, and I'll do some of these other ones here, because I got some marked as favorites, for example, just to give you an idea, right, okay? So let's just look at finisher and that, and it'll show you like all the moves in the game, right? So let's go to finisher, okay? Alright, so, well, let's see now. So we can go to my favorites. Oh, sorry, no, that's on my favorites, so let's get out of there. Here's a list of my favorites, right? So bite the neck, there's a vampire, right, okay. Crossface, that's Chris Benoit, okay. That's DDP, the diamond color. Try and see what else. Figure 4. That's Ric Flair, right? That's F5. Some of these moves are just sick. That's Stone Cold Steve Austin's move. That's, what's his face's move? Shoot, I forgot his name. It goes, yes, 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 right? That's that move, okay? You get the idea. There's like a lot of them in here, right? I found one that's actually like, you know, well, it's DMD, right? But you get the idea, you know, like there's all sorts of different ones in here. Poison Mist. That's Gangrel. There's the Sleeper. And you get the idea. There's like a ton of them in here. Sharpshooter, that's Bret the Hitman Hart. So you see what I mean? Like, you know, you just got to take time. I don't want to do too much of this, right? Spear, there's Goldberg, right? Here's Vader's move. Like, there's all sorts of different types, you know what I mean? But my point is like, look at all the moves in this. And we started near the bottom. Okay, you know what? I think that proves my point. There's a ton of moves in this game. It's just sick, okay? So, and the same thing with, like, you know, entrances and that. Actually, let me show you an entrance. The entrance is actually kind of really cool. Oh, here we go, entrance C. Let's do that. There's actually Gangrel's entrances in here. Now, hopefully I bookmarked this already. So, entrance motion, let's check this out. Let's go to my favorites. Okay, not the female. Gangrel would be male, so I just don't know which one it is here. It's one where he's rising up out of the grave, so... Oh, we got John Cena. You have to watch these to find out which one's which, but the one I'm looking for, you know, like they got like tons of wrestlers in here, you know. Well, I think this is Goldberg's. Yeah, that's Goldberg's, and then you can just put in the fire, you know. What is that, CM Punk, I think, or something like that? I'm trying to remember now who does that. No, it's not CM Punk. It's, oh, what's his face? Roman Reigns? John Cena, you can't see me. Oh, that's that Hiro Yamamoto guy. You know, that can't pronounce his name ever right, you know. So let me see. There it is. There's Gangrel. Right? There's Gangrel rising up out of the grave, you know. That's Gangrel's move, and then we just put a cup in his hand. And you can do that. You can actually put items in their hand. You know. So, yeah. Like, all you gotta do is just go through all this stuff. Like, right here, if we go down to event settings, we see that we can, you know, put props into their hands, right? So let's go down to Gangrel there. Oh, not all. I want favorites. What am I doing here? There he is right there. Let's click on that. And then we can give them filters and that too. So, like, you know, we can do things like black and white, ripple, blocky, and all sorts of stuff. Blurred hands, you know, bullet holes, screen noise, static, you know what I mean, trippy. And then you can do things like, you know, special effects like smoke and leaves, bubbles, blast, cascades, you know, pyro and all sorts of stuff, right? So like there's a lot to this. And I do mean a lot, right? And then you can, you know, what's really, really interesting is putting them into different attires, right? So what I want to do here is I want to go to entrance attires. We'll just give them something for now, just to wear, just to show you something. So yeah, we can make Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got jackets and that too. We got robes and that, you know. You can do like, you know, frickin' all sorts of different stuff. We got Legion of Doom stuff, right? And the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal and all that kind of stuff, you know, right? So that's the whole thing. You can do like, you know, vampire outfits. Like that's what Edge would wear. So you can do Edge. You know, you got business suits and all sorts of stuff, right? So let's just give them something, right? But what's cool about this is that when we get out of this, right? Let's give them a top here for this. We got all sorts of things for tops and that too. Like we have crowns and that. We can have like ninja outfits, right? You know, like that's the whole thing. And the Hogan, hockey helmets. Can make Raiden. Like, you know, it's just a matter of like, you know, being creative, right? So we can make, what's his face there? That was like that King. King was part of his name, right? We can have him wear a mask. You can give them horns and all sorts of stuff. Give them jewelry. You know. There's the Joker face paint. You know. You can do all sorts of stuff with this. That looks pretty wild. Let's do that. That looks pretty messed up. And you can give him scars and that too. Not that we can see it through his face paint. Oh yeah, we can. Let's go with that, right? I'm just showing you some stuff here. Like you can do like full body, like body suits and everything like that. You know, even a bear suit. You know, like it's just insane that the customization. You can make Bret the Hitman Hart and everything, right? So that's the whole thing there. You got lower body and upper body stuff and everything like that. But you know what's cool is that when we get out of this and we go to a preset, here's what's cool, is that we can actually, you know, change the appearance, for example, okay? We can change the skin color, and I got favorites here, which was going to help easier. And then look at this, we got stuff like that actually is animated. So you got a guy on fire. You got a guy that's all crystal. They're dynamic. A guy with the sky in him. A guy with the universe. You know, you can put this stuff to all sorts of stuff. And then you got another one here like lava. This guy glows like lava. Like, how friggin' cool is that? And you can put this on their attires. You can put it on their body or whatever, you know. You can look like Venom. You know, you can look like a zombie. You know, so you can look like the Thing out of, like, you know, the Fantastic Four. You can look like Tron from the movie. And on and on and on and on. You know, you can make a Snake Man. You could, like, and these are just some favorite ones that I did, you know. You have blood and guts on the outside. That's disgusting, but it's there. And then you can like make the eyes, and you know what you can do is like you can do either or whatever. Let's do them both together, and let's make him like, you know, like totally evil. So we'll go with the dark here, you know. And so you can make him like blood red eyes, right? And then you can do like the skin colors, you know, and you can make them all these different colors in that too, right? Including the ones that we were looking at there, you know. Can make them diamond. Oh, Colossus from the X-Men. You know. You know, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff with this. This is like friggin' awesome. Oh, that looks wicked. I'm going to go with that. That looks awesome. So you see what I mean? That looks cool, man. I just might keep this actually now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Well, there you go. And then you can, like, you know, make another outfit, another outfit, another outfit, and then you can name them. So you can rename it, set it as the default, or delete it if you don't like it. I'm going to finalize that because that looks like a really cool character I'm just going to make up. That looks pretty wild. Custom wrestler, so I know that it needs work on, and it's all elite now. You know, we just made a wrestler, right? Okay? Like, that's the thing, guys. There's a lot to creating in here. It's insane. Right? So we got online gaming, ranked, casual, and private. And now let's go through the different match types that we have here. We got mini games, you know, 1, 2, or 3 mini games you can do, and depending on the difficulty you set it at, can be different. Slugfest, where, like, you know, you got to actually hit the ball out of the park kind of thing, right? Chip Gatherer, where you're trying to gather the ones with the highest one. Memory, where you're trying to remember what person's missing or whatever, you know, like what order they're in and stuff like that. Penta says is like Simon says, quizzes on the wrestlers, who's missing, so you got to guess that. Breaking boxes, count them up. Where's Orange Cassidy is like, where's Waldo, you know. Path Tracer, spot the differences, so you got to figure out the differences between the two pictures, right? Path Tracer, where you got to memorize the path or else you fall through the surface, right? Bomb Hurl and all sorts of crazy stuff. Death Race Axe, where you actually are using a skateboard. Trash MJF's car while he's given a spot without getting caught. Sloth Sling, which is basically Angry Birds. Like, those things are fun. Let's get into actual wrestling matches. We got ladder match, exploding barbed wire death match, which they don't have in WWE. Let's point that out too. A Casino Royale, where we can play as a group, you know, suite, which is like hearts and spades and that kind of stuff, or we can just go solo and take on the whole thing, okay? 4-way matches, 3-way matches, tag teams, and single matches. We have normal, lights out, and false count anywhere. Then you have Beat the Elite, which is a gauntlet match, which you can set it from easy all the way up to elite, okay? And then you got to take on 10 wrestlers in a row without losing. That's a gauntlet match, right? There's your gauntlet match right there. Then you got tournament mode. This is probably the most favorite thing to do because you can do all sorts of crazy things with this. And check this out. I got one already going on here, but I'm going to do new so I can show you. Okay, alright. Okay, and that is you can name it whatever the fudgicle stick you want. Right there, right? All the way up to 32 characters. Okay? You get 32 characters to name it in. You can choose it to be 1-on-1 or 2-on-2. So you can have it as a tag team or as a tournament of one player, right? You can go 4 or 8 brackets, and then you can choose the arena. Check this out. Not only can you pick their arenas, including the beach at night and at day, and Fight Forever Japanese Shrine, okay? And the Fight Forever actually comes with a match type that if you throw someone into the barbed wire, which is on the outside, you do not get disqualified as a tag team. So you can actually have first blood matches. Yeah, you can do that. You got a Japanese Shrine. But check this out. If you created your own arenas, you can put them in here too. Right? And you get 20 arenas to make. So here's what I've done. I've made Backyard Brawl, Calvary Stampede Wrestling, Great Pyramid, Glow, which is Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, Halloween, Michael Myers, so that's like the horror stuff, Ice Palace, Mosh Pit, Metal Mayhem, which is a pay-per-view. My Sweet Valentine, which is like blood, guts, and gore, that kind of stuff. Nest Pro Wrestling for the Nest wrestlers, you know. The Inferno, which is, you know, death matches. Outer Space. The Swamp. The Temple in Mortal Kombat. That's the Temple right there. And WCW Classic. Very Good, Very Evil, which is Dan Helsing's arena. WCW Nitro. WCW Thunder. Okay. So Nitro is for the women and Thunder is for the men. When Worlds Collide is the end of my pay-per-view. And Welcome to the Jungle is a pay-per-view. Okay. So I got When Worlds Collide is my final pay-per-view. Where, you know, Welcome to the Jungle, which is like, you know, my another pay-per-view. Okay. And then I got Halloween for pay-per-view. Metal Mayhem for pay-per-view. Outer Space is pay-per-view, okay? Alright? And then we got, like, you know, for regular shows, we got WCW Nitro, Thunder, and Classic. Plus we have Calgary Stampede, right? And Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. So there's where the women will wrestle. There's Stampede Wrestling for the Stampede wrestlers. There's the WWC wrestlers. And then for the AEW, we just go over to AEW arenas, right? And then you can make your own universe mode out of all that. That's a sick amount of arenas. So let's just do one of these. Well, let's pick Glow, right? Okay, for the match, right? Okay, so we can name it whatever. We're just going to leave it at default. We're going to go one-on-one, and we're just going to go done. Now check this out. We can, you know, change the wrestlers. We can randomize it, okay? And we can even put in our own wrestlers to go against each other, alright, okay, and the community wrestlers. So we can do anything we want to with this, alright. So once we're done, we finalize it, okay. I'm doing this quickly, so I'm showing you like just how cool this is, alright. So we go into this. Now we have a choice. We can play as either wrestler, or we can let the computer duke it out and see who wins, okay. So let's go with computer. Get this though, we get to choose the match type. Oh, you didn't see this coming, did you? Normal, lights out, false count anywhere, ladder match, or exploding barbed wire death match, right? And because it's DMD, let's go lights out. Now here's the thing, we can make all the matches just one match type, right, okay? Or we can make it whatever the fudgicle stick we want it to be, right? Like, you know, a variety of different match types, right? So if we want to have, like, you know, backyard brawl, well, we can do that, you know, monster bash, whatever. Like, you know, we can have, like, you know, 2 out of 3 falls, 3 stages of hell, and all that kind of stuff, right? Beat the clock, and that kind of stuff. And we can make those tournaments. You know, so let's go into this, and let's just check this out and watch them fight it out. Matt Hardy versus DMD.
The lights out match is coming up. Making his way to the ring.
And we get to, like, you know, look at it from different camera views. Like, how freaking cool is this? Like, give me a break. You actually get control of the pyros and that. You don't get that in WWE. And now this is the computer against itself, right? And this is an arena I created, which was like, you know, Gold Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, you know. Now for time's sake, we're not going to watch the whole thing, but you get the idea here. Look at this. They're like duking it out, man. This is wild. So you can relive different types of matches that you've enjoyed. You can create any kind of wrestlers you want to do. How's this boring? How's this lacking content? Just to wrap this up, how is this lacking content when you got all these choices to do, right? It's a 90s throwback. It's not in competition with WWE. It's its own thing. And it does things that nobody else does. Like, you can have championship Scrabble matches where you put 4 titles on the line, right? So you can have up to 4 people go at it for a championship belt, you know? You can put like 4 titles on the line, and whoever wins all 4 titles. You know, you can't do stuff like that with WWE. You got intergender matches like this, where you got men beating up women, women beating up men. You know, it's just freaking insane. And how awesome this game really is. You can even pick the referee that you want to be refereeing the match. Okay. You can put your own creative wrestlers in there. You can do 2 out of 3 falls. You can do an I Quit match, which is a submission. And I'll prove that to you. Like, let's get out of this, okay? I'll prove it to you that you can do an I Quit match. You don't believe me? Right? You don't believe me? Watch this, right? Okay? We're going to set up an I Quit match, okay? You can make this an I Quit tournament if you wanted to, right? So all you need to do is find 2 wrestlers. We're just going to back out of this, okay? All you need to do is find 2 wrestlers, okay? Let's do Falls Count Anywhere. That sounds like fun. Okay? And you can do this 3-way, 4-way, and all that. You can be either side, or you can let the computer do it. I'm going to let the computer do it. I'm going to prove to you that you can do this. Okay? So let's go with the women here. So we're going to go DMD. Okay? Then we can change her outfits and that too, and we can give her a manager too. And we're going to have her go against Anna Jay. Okay? Alright. And you can change their outfits and that too. Like, there's a lot to customizing. Okay? We're just going to leave it in the same arena for now. Actually, no, you know what? Let's change it. I don't know how much time I got here. Backyard Brawl? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Backyard Brawl. You know? Falls Count Anywhere.
Woodball. If you're like me, fans, you can't wait. What an exciting match this is going to be. Making her way to the ring, Dr. Brett Baker. And Anna Jay.
I don't know if I should have done it as Falls Count Anywhere. I should have done it as Lights Out or something. Or even normal, you know. Now what happens is this. They actually will do their finisher, right? And when they go to do their finisher, that's what happens. So like Bret Hart, you know, that kind of stuff, right? Owen Hart, you know. You pick someone who's got a finisher or a signature move that, you know, is a grappling move, a submission move, and they'll put them out, you know, and it turns into an I Quit match. And you can make a whole tournament like that, you know, 3 stages of hell, beat the clock, you know, right, 2 out of 3 falls. All that is just rematching the same match, you know. So, I mean, like, you can do tons of stuff with this. Look at how amazing this game looks. Right? It looks incredible. So we'll let this match play out, you know. And the bottom line is, I'll just, like, you know, wrap up some final thoughts here. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this game. You know? There's nothing wrong with it at all. So I don't understand why people in 2026 are still picking on it to this day. You know, and saying it's an unfinished product, it's a terrible product, you know, it's a real bad wrestling game, and look at this. How is this a bad wrestling game? Right? I had matches that lasted as long as 26 minutes, so don't tell me that you can't do that stuff, because I just showed you I did, and I had a 40,000 star match. So, yeah, 26 minutes and 22 seconds. And a lights out match with Daniel Bryanson. So yeah, don't tell me you can't do this stuff, you know? Of course you can. So, like, you know, that's the whole thing there, right? So let's see if this ends in a I quit match, right? Which is submission, right? And if you get stuck with them punching and kicking, just hold the left bumper or L1, and that'll cause them to lock up with you, right? Now I only get an hour with this video, so hopefully this will give us enough time to get this match in, you know, and see what happens here. I've had matches go for like half an hour with the computer, against the computer itself. You know, I've had some really interesting matches. I used to run my own universe mode, right? You make different stalls, Calgary Stampede Wrestling, World WCW, WWE, you know, AEW, you already got there anyway. And you have a slew of wrestlers from the roster on AEW, including CM Punk, who's gone now, and a bunch of others. So DMD's got her signature set up. And Jay trying to fight back now, and I would do my own commentary, eh? Oh, now she's got her signature. Oh, she got it in. Oh, here comes her finisher, and she locks us in. Watch, it ends in an I quit match. It's submission, right? That's an I quit match. Oh, Anna Jay fighting back, though. She might not get it in. And it just wore off. She didn't get it in. Nine times out of 10, it turns into an I quit match, you know? And there she goes again with it. And here we go, lockjaw. Game over for Anna unless she can break out of it. And see, we even got voices tapped. And she screams too and yells, and there's an I quit match. You see, it's all about just matching the right wrestlers at the occasion, you know?
What a match we just saw.
So, like, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. You can actually just sit back and watch a show. Make your own show in a tournament mode, right? And put all these different match types in here. Make your own universe mode. Okay? Like, let's look at the different wrestlers here for AEW, right? Well, look at all these wrestlers we got. AEW wrestlers, right? So there's like 4 in each row, and then we got 3 at the bottom here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 rows of 4. Add in another 3. We're missing Big Show, so that'd be like, you know, 17 rows of 4. And then that's how many wrestlers you got in this game. That's AEW. Including Sting, who's retired now too. A bunch of wrestlers that are missing. You know, that are retired, missing, whatever, you know. And that's the whole thing, man. Like, this is an awesome game. You even got Owen Hart, who hasn't been in wrestling games for ages. Right? A lot of these people have moved on. And then you got the Hardy Boys with Matt Hardy and his brother. Right? Because what you do is you click on him. Well, hang on a sec. We have to go into an actual match. If you want the Hardy Boys, you know, here, we'll put them in a tag team. I think I already have them as a tag team. And that's another thing too, I got tag teams in here. I do believe we already have the Hardy Boys in here. Yeah, there we go. And then we can even do a broken Matt Hardy. Let's do that. Let's do broken Matt Hardy, okay? All right? If we have time to get this in, I don't know. I don't know if we will. Okay, and let's put them up against a tag team here. Who do we want here? Let's go up against one of my own. Well, you know what? No, let's do Sting and Darby. We even got Cactus Jack, you know? Like, man, there's so much you can do with this. It's insane. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get this in time.
Is a tag team match set for football. Fans have been waiting months for this tag team.
Broken Matt Hardy, man, seriously. So technically, that's another wrestler. I gotta give them their entrance where they come out, like, you know, with what's his face's entrance. I haven't completely done their thing yet. I gotta give them Jeff Hardy's entrance, you know. There you go, man. Like, seriously, where's the problem with this game? There's no problem with it. It's an excellent game. It's a lot of fun. So I really don't see why people are complaining about it and saying it's an unfinished product. How's it unfinished? What's missing? What, because it's not WWE? It never claimed to be. It's a freaking wrestling game. Right? Why can't people enjoy what they have and they gotta find fault with something because it doesn't measure to their standard instead of accepting it for a 90s throwback, which is exactly what it is. A 90s throwback. It set out to do its own thing and it succeeded at doing that. It's interesting how all people want to do today is be toxic and they just don't care, you know? But here's the physical evidence of how awesome this game is. Look at this. All four of them are in the arena having a freaking, you know, basher. That's another thing. You could make, like, you know, the Monster Bash brawl and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do that later, you know. Monster Brawl, you know. And they shout and stuff, like, you know, they go, ow, 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 tap, tap, no, 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 tap, no, you know what I mean? You have some really crazy matches in this. Hey, you sit back and watch and enjoy, do your own commentary, and, you know, and you can be the announcer watching the action, and have your own little universe mode running, and you don't know who's going to win what. And then you come up with storylines for universe mode. I did that. If you guys want me to do universe mode, let me know. And my counter is done here, so my video is done. Thanks for watching.